Well, Greg, first off, DC, the coaching change. It looks like the academy director will guide them this week. Um, does that impact you guys at all? What do you expect? How do you think it impacts them?
Yeah, I mean, first I send my regards to Troy. He's a friend, and so it's just disappointing, I know, for him and for what he was trying to accomplish there. As far as our preparation, yeah. I mean, maybe there's some a little few more uncertainties. It's not a ton of time between the last game and this game, and they've got to travel here, so there's only probably so many things that you can accomplish in a very short period of time. I think for us is, again, just to really focus on and build off of some of the things that we did in the last game. I thought it was probably one of our more complete games on the season, as I said before. And so it's, again, trying to really focus on ourselves and our improvements and the things that we need to continue to do. Again, I thought the effort and the collective work as a group was very good. And I thought we created a number of chances, and we didn't really give up much of anything. And those two things, when you do those two things and execute in good moments, then you get good results. So we've got to keep doing that stuff.
Might you see a more spirited DC team?
It's possible. It's possible. You don't really ever know in these situations because I'm not being on the inside, and so I don't know. I don't know all of the ins and outs and the reasons, obviously. So you just never know. Again, I think the most important thing is that we focus on our spirit and our intensity and everybody connected and doing the things that they need to do in the game.
Great, we saw Ricky out there earlier in the week.
Yep.
How important is it to get him back around the group? First of all, get him outside of work, and then get him back on the group as he starts his final stretch.
Yeah. Well, these stretches are all long, but it's great to have him out here again. Just his energy, his spirit. You saw when he was out here for the day. I don't know how much was picked up, but it's just the guys are joyful just to see him out. They know how hard he's working to get back out, and this, for me, it's a milestone to get back out on the grass and to be running around and moving like a soccer player, at least the starting parts of it. So. It's great for all of us. I mean, he's working between the gym and his rehab stuff, and then out on the field, and he's in his own sort of cycle and process. But just having him around, he's been sitting in on some of the video stuff in the meetings and sharing, and talking to players, stuff like that. So it's really good to have him around and have his influence and just the feeling of Ricky being around. So I know it also is great for him because it keeps him kind of attached to the group and giving him those targets that he has to meet in order to get to where he ultimately wants to be and where we all want, which is him back on the field playing.
Does the timetable change at all once he gets out here, or how do you sort
Not really. It's still about being able to accomplish certain things in a safe way. Everything that he's doing out here now is at a certain tempo and a certain pace, and it's learning movements, if you will, or just doing some basic and simple movements so that you develop the mobility, but then also the confidence to do those things again after going through a situation. And you've got to take all of those very controlled movements and then increase speed, and then eventually get to a place where they're actually not controlled anymore. You're in a reactive situation, and then you're talking about adding a ball and adding all the. So there's still a lot of process left in front, but getting out on the grass and starting to do this is a big milestone, I think, for him and the process to return. You start to feel a little bit more attached to what's going on out here as well.
What is he doing, and what can't he do?
What is he doing?
Yeah,
it's a lot. I mean, he's not on the ball. He's just leave others to talk. But he's doing a lot of things that are just, again, reintegrating movements back. And
running.
Running, but to a certain speed.
Can he cut?
He's not. I don't think he's doing anything lateral or anything like that. Right? It's just all reintegration stuff, and him again developing. Coordination again, even things like things like that, and again developing confidence in different types of movements. But this is, you got to crawl before you walk, and before you run, and before you sprint, and all that stuff. So it's a process. I know I kind of cringed a little bit when I saw him being put out there that he's on the field, and it's still a process. It's still a lot of process. So
how involved has he been, like halftime, before games, after games?
And not at halftime. I mean, occasionally, we definitely will see him before the game, and he's with the team, and he's interacting with the players, and not so much at halftime. Just, I think, getting down and getting in and all that is not as convenient and easy as it seems. After the games, he's attached. Like I said, here between doing his work in the gym, coming to the field. When we have video meetings, sometimes he's involved in those depending on what his program is. So, but he's involved with the group, and it's again, like I said, it's nice because he's invested in not just the collective piece, but also individuals coming along that we need to continue to bring along as players.
Greg, the victory against Whitecaps is arguably the best performance of the team so far. How do you keep that momentum for the rest of the season? And in another thing, what are your thoughts when you see the reaction of the fans, the supporter group, showing protests about what's happening, and how the team take that reaction?
Yeah, so a couple things in terms of trying to maintain momentum. This is where I think, again, going and looking at the video, which we did this week, and identifying the reasons why we were successful and why I think we have been making progress over this last several games. I felt the team stayed more connected. I felt Joe and Gabe on the defensive side were a little bit more connected to the collective. Gabe's reactions in transition defending were outstanding in certain situations. Took a little bit of stress off the back line. He made some plays in recovery that were, again, just took the opposition out of what looked like promising attacks. His back pressing just helped us. Joe similarly, and I think when the collective group worked as they did for 90 minutes, I think our expected goals was under a half, and that's against a good team. And so I think it's reiterating the things that I think were good. Defensively, we stayed connected. We all worked through every play. Attacking, I thought we took advantage of breaking out and getting into transition and fast attack moments. Defense and in set attack, I thought we found probably our best rhythm in the game between when to go fast and when to be a little bit slow and a little bit more in control. So I thought we found a good rhythm inside of the game as well. So again, it's just continuing to lay in with the group on those things that make us the best team that we can be, and then it comes down to executing in key moments. And we did that in 3 moments. I think we left probably 2 or 3 other really good, important moments on the table for ourselves where we could maybe make a better choice or execute a little better. But all in all, again, I think it was a good, solid performance. The one thing I asked us is we need to be better coming out of the locker room at halftime. I thought the first 7 minutes of our second half was by far our weakest of the game, and we were vulnerable in that, and we need to come out of the locker room a little bit more intense and more prepared for the second half. But every other thing else I thought was very solid on the day. As far as the protests and the fan base, look, I said it before. I believe that everybody has their feelings and on the situation and has their space to try to show that in any way that they feel is effective and makes their point. So the team was aware that it was going to happen, so that it didn't catch anybody by surprise. I let them know before the game that the fan base in the end there was going to be there for the start and then would probably move, so that they wouldn't be shocked in the game like, hey, where's everybody going? And I wanted them to be aware of this situation. And so look, I respect people's position, and I respect their right to protest if that's what they feel. I want us to get back to being kind of the one collective group that has each other's back as soon as possible, and that is fighting for each other out on the field and everywhere else. And so hopefully we make that progress as we continue to work through this.
Both LAFC and Angel City have been very vocal about what's going on. This club not so much. Should this club be a little more proactive?
Yeah, I mean, it's in many ways it's not for me to say. I think there's a fine line, and there's a fine line between sport and politics. And I know there's human things inside of this that I think are very, very important in the grand scheme of things as well. But it's difficult because there's so many different issues, and this being up there and amongst the most important. But there's a lot of issues, and if you start taking positions on each issue, you start cutting issues in half all over the place.
Yeah,
so it's a fine line. I get it. Look, I have my own personal feelings in the whole situation, but that doesn't change anything that in terms of us fighting together to try to do what we need to do, which is to win games and to perform on the field with my players and teammates and everybody else. And we want to put on a good show and make our fans feel comfortable in our environment where they can come and support and have again positive emotions like we did last year. I feel like we're building towards that again, and we want to keep that going. We had a very difficult first half of the season in which our fans were behind us, even though it was tough, and I feel like we're starting to give them more of the reward of where we should be in this last little bit.
anything else? Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.